this press conference to announce the launch of this inaugural edition of the Qutab Golf League, and we are delighted to have very eminent dignitaries join us today, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce them to you. Mr. Amit Kharbanda, co-promoter of Game of Life Sports. They have conceptualized the idea of the league. They have a great vision. You'll hear about it when he speaks. Mr. D. Sarkar, he was Director Sports for DDA. Some of the great contributions to Indian golf have been courses like the Qutab Golf Course, the new one that's coming up in Dwarka. He has been the man who's been driving this. A great boon to Indian golf. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. One of India's torchbearers for Indian golf, not just ladies golf. This young lady has become, in fact, she was the first Indian to play on the US LPGA Tour, and in fact, for the first 2 years, she led the driving stats of the US LPGA Tour, an achievement in itself. We'll talk about it a little bit more. Wing Commander Arun Singh, like Mr. Sarkar, he's on the Apex Council of the league. An eminent, knowledgeable person about the sport who's been directing the structure of the entire league. He's the president of the Golf Course Superintendent and Managers Association of India, and also being the ex-Director General for the Indian Golf Union. The knowledge and the understanding he brings to the table is quite phenomenal. And at the other extreme, we have Mr. Saman Sikka, the co-promoter of Game of Life Sports. He and Amit have got big visions for golf in India. They came up with this idea of the Qutab Golf League, which is going to be the melting point for golfers in the entire NCR region. It's not limited to only Qutab Golf Course. We'll hear more about it as we go forward. We're changing the order of speaking slightly. Simi has graced us with her presence, but she has another engagement to go to. We're going to request Simi Mehra to kindly say a few words.
Thank you so much. I want to thank Digraj for inviting me. I really appreciate, I try to actually stay away from what's happening in the world. I'm very busy in my own head sometimes, but he manages to always pull me out and come in, some unique things, and this is definitely very unique and it's very encouraging for somebody who's always wanted to grow golf in India, and that's always been my my goal, because what golf has given me, that's the only way I could pay back, and it's given me my life, everything. So I'm very grateful for Diggy and Qutab Golf and this fabulous team for inviting me to speak about their event. I always say good things about leagues, because that's the fastest way to grow any sport. You can look at leagues around the world. It encourages people to come and be competitive. What's so unique about this league, other than the fact that it's at such a historical golf course where, we don't have, I think we have 2 or 3 of these in the entire country, which is really terrible. The Indian Golf Union should hang its head in shame that they have 3 public golf courses in a country of 1.5 billion, 1.2, it's quite terrible, to put it very bluntly. So obviously it lies on people who love this game and care about this game, and not the people who are in power, apparently. So the people who actually love the game and do it with their heart are the ones who are growing the game. So, golfers and the youngsters should be appreciative of people like Digraj and Brandon, who actually were a big game changer in our country. And the fact that this event is not exclusive to members, it's an inclusive event. You're inviting people from all demographics. You have to have certain people on the team, and juniors are playing with the elderly, so they learn a lot. Golf is not about the golf swing and just the score. It literally is everything else. How you manage yourself on the golf course. Once you step onto the golf course, who you are, what you're made of, it pretty much says it all. जैसे बोलते हैं ना, कत्था चिट्ठा सामने आ जाता है, ये गेम कत्था चिट्ठा सामने निकाल देता है, क्योंकि ये कोई टीम स्पोर्ट है नहीं. That's it, you and your caddy or your team out there. Other than that, I'm being very selfish, and I'm hoping that some professionals get invited to leagues later on, and I think that would literally be a game changer. मैं तो बोलती रहूँगी जब तक कोई मेरी बात ना सुने. I think that's about it. Anything else? Anybody has any questions? कहती मैं डंडे मारती हूँ. तो अगर बच्चों को डंडे चाहिए मेरे पास भेज देना ठीक है ना all good thank you so much thanks so much
Simi, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you a couple of things about her before she leaves. She was instrumental in growing ladies golf in the country. She was one of the two people who have set up the Women's Golf Association in India. It has been a catalyst. There was a time when in 1997, she and Seri Park from Korea were the only two Asian girls on the US LPGA tour. And we've seen where Korean golf has gone. She has laid the foundation for where Indian ladies golf can go. And we've seen performances like Aditya Ashok and others. And she continues to mentor them in many, many ways, including getting kids admissions in universities. Simi, thank you very much.
thank you so much
We're really grateful you came, and thanks for sparing your time.
thank you Bye.
To tell us something more and tell us what else has been done in a very exciting manner.
Thank you, Digraj. I think Simi has set the tone for the conversation. We talked about game of life, and she talked about what the game gave to her. Actually, for us, game of life is an acronym for golf itself. And we believe this is unlike any other sport. First of all, in this particular sport, it's a non-impact sport, so you're not competing against another player. You're actually competing against your own self. And while you are playing, I think it really tests, while people talk about, Digraj mentioned about swing and physical capabilities. Actually, the most important thing that it tests you on is your mental strength. Because it is not about what you hit in this shot. What it has taught me is that you cannot carry forward your successes or failures to the next shot. Forget about carrying it home. So I think that's what this game is all about, and obviously it has given us friends for life, made us better people. At Game of Life, our whole agenda is that how do we take this sport to more people? We think it's a very, very fascinating sport. Unfortunately, not as popular, not as accessible, not a lot of people are aware about it. At Game of Life, our vision is that over the next 5 to 7 years, we want 1 million Indians to get exposed to this game. And a lot of people, when they talk about sports, they talk about making champions, they want to make pros. We are saying that actually we need to start from the bottom of the pyramid. We just want people to come and touch this sport, get touched by what this sport can do to them, and then build their own relationship with the sport. Whether they play it for leisure, whether they play it for competition, whether they play it for camaraderie, it's up to them. But I think this sport can really change people, make them better people. Two, I think one of the things that is missing in this sport, and if you go and speak to any practitioner, they will tell you is game mein paise nahi hai. You know, hardly a few lakh people play this sport, look at cricket and billions of dollars and so on and so forth. So I believe that we need to build a good solid business model around it. Because it's a chicken and egg story. Unless you make a good commercial viable model around it, you will not be able to sustain these efforts. That's the other pillar that Game of Life is working on. How do we build sustainable models which can self-fund themselves and then work towards that vision that we have of 1 million golfers. So QGL is one of the efforts in that direction. People talked about inclusiveness. That is at the core of this league. Why is it at core? Is because generally the leagues which are very popular are club level leagues, only limited to members of golf. When I applied my membership for Delhi Golf Tour, the secretary told me 70-80 years mein aa jayega, unless there is a nuclear attack and all golfers of Delhi die, tab tera number shayad jaldi aa jayega. So the fact is that it is such an exclusive sport. We are trying to take advantage of a facility like this, which is a public course, which means any one of you can come and play here without being a member. There are no special privileges a member enjoys over you. And to that extent, the idea is that we want everybody to participate in this league, whether they are a member or not member. And the gating that was talked about, so everybody has to have minimum number of women, junior, senior players, armed forces, government servants, everybody to be part of this team. The intent is, it is not about finding the best golfer. It is to actually find the best team which can strategize, take everybody together and win. So that's what we are. This is a small effort in that direction, and I'm sure with all your support and all the support of people like Digraj, Dibakar sir, Arun sir, we will continue to make strides as we go along. So thank you.
I think he's put on the setup and Simi's talked about the sport. One of the areas when we both came together, we were together from school together, right, from DPS. So just to give you a small anecdote of how this all has come across is, we were in school together, then went on to our professional lives, got back, and incidentally 3 years back, the school was having its 50th year and we did a golf tournament. And it was very interesting because this was again a unique golf tournament that on T1, we had the first batch of DPS RK playing, and on the T18, we had the class 6th students playing. I don't think even that anybody had seen. It got covered and all. And that got us both, we were working in two different, he was on the finance side, I was on the electronic side. We were coming out of our exits of our startups. So we got together, we started discussing about the golf because this is what brought us together 10 years back. And we realized the biggest gratitude for a golfer is that you get to play on a golf course and for few hours in a week. And that something is the biggest grace that any golfer can. Because out of a 1.8 billion people, there are very few who have this opportunity and we're very grateful. And that's when we said, what do we do here? And the biggest thank you was to Qutab. As Samant said, going to other golf courses, the memberships, we must thank Sir Dipagar sir for making such an amazing golf course that this brought us where we could all play golf. Otherwise, we would never have gone any opportunity to play. So really thankful, under his supervision, guidance, these golf courses got made. DDA for a brilliant effort, as Simi said, the only ones in the country. That made us work and discuss that we need to give it back. You know, we were at that age of life where we thought we need to enjoy, make it fun, and make it something which is inclusive. That's the word it came there, which we've brought it into QGL. And that's how we formed the company called Game of Life Sports. I think the name of the company was the easiest thing for us because both of us acknowledge the fact that when you play golf, and every golfer will say this, it's every step is the day that you're having. You had a bad day in the morning, your game is going to go for a toss. You get a phone call, your game is going to go for a toss. You're having the greatest of day, you've come from a celebration, your game is going to be on a different level. And this is not me, this is from an amateur to a professional, we'll say. The other big thing this sport is, this is probably the only outdoor sport in the world which has the biggest, longest longevity. I have played with a 6-year-old and I've played with a 91. And we have somebody in these courses who's 95 and he's still playing. So there is no age limit. And for an outdoor sport, I don't think it gets better than this. So with that, we started bringing in. When we got into this, we realized there are a lot of myths about this sport. You know, people say it's only a rich man sport, old person sport. I think that is changing. India is still at a very early stage of golf. It's coming up, but the way the golf is being conceived is and growing across the country, we think it's going to be a massive. We're just at that inflection point. With that, one of the steps we started doing is a few tournaments we did, but the big one was start with QGL, which Samant has spoken about. Degraj sir is going to be talking about how it's planned. But the more important thing for us was a lot of members across golf courses play within their golf course. For us, it was very, very important that QGL is an event which sir said is for everyone. So the auction that we are having in the evening of team owners with their players, we have registrations of golfers across the NCR. We have people coming in on all facets. As he said, senior citizens, armed forces, retired, children, some ex-pros, everyone is there. And that was one thing which I think NCR was really looking forward to. Because if you're not a member of a certain course, you're not getting to play. So one joke I've been saying to all is, why did you start the league? I think the only way I could have played a league was we own one. So I think with that we started this, and thank you all for coming in, and I'll give it back to Degraj. Thank you so much.
I like the statement. And ladies and gentlemen, like he correctly said, a big boon to Delhi, to Indian golf has been public courses like the Qutab Golf Course and visionary leaders like Mr. D. Sarkar. What they have done to catalyze the growth of the sport is quite huge. Very hard to, in fact, quantify it. But he's been part of this journey, and I'm going to request him to say a few words and share that journey with us.
Mr. Arun Singh, with Garbanga, Samant Sikka, and of course Degraj. Good afternoon, all of you. Now, he asked me to tell you about the public golf course, but when we talk about this public golf course and the other one that has been inaugurated today at Dwarka, I have to mention two names of former Lieutenant Governors of Delhi. This land here was earmarked for a public golf course for very long until Mr. Vijay Kapoor, who was the Lieutenant Governor, got actually the project started. Without him, this project wouldn't have come up because more than half the land was encroached. And he used to come here every Sunday, I remember. We used to play 9 holes and he used to come every day, call the police, joint commissioner here, the local one. He used to call the legal councils, and every day, every week he used to monitor the development of the course. So it's thanks entirely because of him that this golf course, the first public golf course of India, came about. Number 2, when it came up, it wasn't as good a golf course as it is today, and the entire golf course got renovated during the tenure of another former Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Mr. Anil Bajal. He got the entire golf course renovated. And it is also because of Mr. Anil Bajal, the second public golf course, the 18-hole golf course at Dwarka, got started, the work which has been, as I mentioned, inaugurated today. So unfortunately in this country we have very few golf courses which are public golf courses, and as my previous speakers mentioned, that anybody can play the game here without being a member. And they can also book a game here without becoming a member. The non-member can also book a game of golf. Now, I'm very thankful that, I'm very happy that a league has been started at a public golf course. This is the way to promote the game of golf. That the QGL has started it, and at Qutab Golf Course. I'm sure that by having a league at a public golf course where even non-members of the golf course can be team members, that will really promote the game of golf. And I'm very thankful that I'm a part of it as a council member, and I wish it all success. Thank you very much.
Went to the core, he's done a lot of climbing, he's a golfer, plus he's done a lot of great grassroots level work for golf. As a director general for the Indian Golf Union, as the president of the JSC MAI, and earlier the secretary of Delhi Golf Club, plus somebody who did a fabulous job with the Golden Greens. That course has taught us how to manage a golf course in very, very low cost and still do a great job with it. So can I request you to say a few words?
Very, very nice things. Some of them are also true. Degraj is known to exaggerate, but I would say that you did not exaggerate too much. I think we have all heard a lot, and Degraj has given the admonition that I'm supposed to speak only a few words. He knows that I give long speeches. I'll begin by saying something about Simi Mehra, who has unfortunately not here as of now. I think the game of golf teaches us something which many other sports do not teach. It is the most gender-friendly sport except for equestrian. I think this is a game which men and women can play equally well together and without any inhibitions. I'll give you an example. The great Bobby Jones in the British Open of 1930 played a round of golf with a lady called Joyce Wethered. For 15 holes, Bobby Jones, in my opinion, even today is the greatest golfer the world has ever seen. Grand Slam winner as an amateur. In that quarterfinal match of British Open, British Amateur, he was trailing behind Joyce Wethered for 15 holes by 3 holes. Finally, he won after 18 by one shot. And Bobby Jones did say something about Joyce Wethered, that she is the greatest golfer, man or woman, amateur or professional, with whom I have ever played. So this is 1930, about a lady. Coming to Simi Mehra, a controversial statement, is the greatest golfer India has seen, man or woman, amateur or professional. And she had performance to back it. She went to LPGA I think she was 19 years old, and in the days when people had not heard about LPGA. She was the driving distance champion of LPGA for 2 consecutive years. She was out driving Seri Park in those days. And she also came, if I'm not wrong, she was the 4th in British Open, which is the best performance by an Indian golfer, man or woman, amateur or professional, ever, in any major championship. So that is to Simi Mehra. Now coming to Qutab Golf Course, I think we have all heard enough about Qutab Golf League. The singular thing which I like about Qutab Golf League is it is inclusive. The greatest benefit of golf is the health benefits, because you can play over a long period of time. You can play golf over 30 years, 40 years of your life. You can play soccer for probably 10 years, cricket for 8 years or something like that. You can play golf for 30 or 40 years of your life and you can enjoy the benefits of health. They also talked about the benefits of inclusiveness of age. Young and old alike can play this game. You have a unique system of handicapping which makes an amateur and professional compete together. It's also the most gender-friendly sport. A man and woman can compete like Joyce Weatherhead and Bobby Jones competing together for the same prize with equal amount of opportunity. So I think what is the greatest strength of golf is inclusiveness, and what Qutab Golf League is trying to embrace is this inclusiveness. They're including juniors, they're including amateurs, they're including people from government sources, they're including people from every walk of life. And most importantly, they do not have to be member of any specific golf course. So they have removed the firewalls. So I congratulate Samant and Amit for conceptualizing a very, very inclusive golf league. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Because of the capacity, which is limited to 3 playing days, the format has been put together in such a manner that we have currently 8 teams, which is going to go up to 10 from what we understand. And each day, each team will have 12 people representing them. Now just coming back to the teams, like you mentioned, each team has got 16 players, 12 have been selected by the team owners directly themselves, and 4 are going to be selected this evening in an auction, for which we've had 135 entries, for 32 to be selected, which is quite phenomenal, and the entries have come from all over Delhi, and there's some from out of Delhi as well. In terms of the play, the scoring format is a simple stable-foot scoring format. Each day, each team will have 12 people playing, so the field will be a maximum of 120 players on a given day. The 12 players in each team will play an individual game. They'll be scored off 75% of their original handicaps. Their stable-foot score of the top 9 players out of the 12 playing that day will be the team score for the first 2 days. And on the third and the final day, all the 12 scores will be counted to get the team score, and the team score over the 3 rounds will determine the total score of a team, and that's the basis on which the champion team will be determined. There are a lot of very attractive individual prizes as well, and like it was said by everybody here, the inclusiveness comes from a desire to promote the league in a very unique manner. So the mission statement is the most unique league in India. A lot of things have been done, factored into the blueprint, which deliver on these words. And the other words which I will just mention, which I think are important, are inclusiveness, which you heard about. You heard the word grace being used by Amit. I think it's a grace that we all are here. Value added is another term, and entertaining is going to be another term, which is the hallmark of what this league is going to be all about. We're just to keep the league alive and also give back. There are 2 very unique master classes being planned. The master classes are not just going to be lessons by a top pro. They're going to be information on how to take your game to a next level. So we're under discussions with some of the most eminent sporting personalities in the country who are going to A, give back in terms of golfing knowledge, and the second conversation will have people from other than golf, along with golfers, speaking about the mind, how to strategize, how to improve, tattvas as we call it, which we all really sought when we were kids, and we were fortunate to capture some of them. That's in a sense is the league, 2 master classes, 3 rounds of golf, a lot of social evenings, so that the camaraderie between this entire melting point of golfers in the city of NCR basically will be there. We thank you all for joining us today. We are very honored. We have some very eminent people here. The entry links have gone across the country. Obviously the first year the majority is being local players, and the teams that they have selected, we know that there are some players from Bombay who have come in. We have in fact some of the top juniors in the country playing. There's a young lady called Zara Anand who's number 2 in the country right now. She's just 16 years of age. And we have talent like that which is playing. We also have in the pool, interestingly enough, Mr. Faisal Qureshi, who was a Pakistan Open champion and he was a Pakistan national champion. So the diversity of people in the league and also those in the pool is quite unique.
So it's not just Indian golfers, it's open for golfers from outside also.
And we're hoping one day that we'll have a real problem deciding kisko lena hai. We're already having a bit of a problem with that, but that's a great problem to have. Wing Commander Arun Singh said, it is opening up it to everybody. Some of the other leagues in the country are club-specific leagues, but this one is truly going to be opening up to everybody.
We are not limited on our intent. We want to make it open to everyone. I think we are limited with our ability to communicate it to everybody, and I think today's session will help us communicate to a larger audience in the country. An initiative like this has been launched, and if not this season, maybe next season, we will definitely get not 16 clubs, but maybe 25 cities, 30 cities where we will have partnerships from. Yeah.
If I may just quickly add to this.
If I may just add something, being the first year is also all kind of competitions and obstacles also come.
Right.
Some fair, some not so fair.
And we are working together on this league as partners. It's to their credit that they have put a lot of good thinking behind it. And like we always keep on saying, Indian golf will grow when good people get associated with it from different backgrounds. They bring a lot of intelligence and knowledge to it. And that's going to help shape up the way this is going to grow in the future.
Digraj, since inclusiveness is the theme here, please don't exclude yourself from taking the credit for what is being done.
Thank you very much.
You are equally a part of what's happening. So
very kind of you. Thank you.
If not for you, this would not have happened.
But just one more clarification to your question. So 8 teams have selected their 12 players already. Before the auction today, each 8 teams have announced their 12. They were told the 5 categories which they have to cover, which is the children, ladies, senior citizen, government office, and armed forces. Minimum to be covered. So we've got their 12. Now whatever categories is left or the members is left or whatever is left, those they have to select now 4 from the auction, which is tonight. Already people have been selected from across, and now what Varun shared is the number of registration for the auction pool, which is across, and this is for the first year, which is happening here.
We just mentioned about Aryan Khan. Is he going to be just the owner, or is he full owner, or is he going to be featuring the tournament playing some golf as well?
Well, I understand he doesn't play as yet. We're expecting to see him, of course, at some point during the tournament, and we're hoping he'll play next year. So that's something which is an agenda which both Samad and Amit have taken on. His captain here, who's based here, Rustum Tiwari, very passionate golfer, very passionate member of, he's a member of the club. So we are hoping that he will play as well, but right now I don't think he plays. With one very clear intent, that the team owner should get to know new people in the city of NCR, and he has to select people from the pool. And these are entries which have come in from, like he said, 16 cities. The selection will be based on, there'll be a screen up there giving the name of the player, and it will also give some of his accomplishments and other data which is helpful for a team owner to decide his strategy as to whom to select. So I think the first thing that they will try and do is make sure that their criteria are met, and then subsequently, keeping in mind the golf course, the stroke indexes, etc., they will decide whom do we want to select. We're expecting it to be quite an interesting bidding session this evening. It's notional money, there is no actual cash involved, but just to get the flavor of what it is like to go after a player of your choice, that's being initiated today.
So a lot of that was thought of, so that the benchmark for this league has to be up there. It should not be starting as, you just sort of formed a league and said, let's get it in. So everything was a lot more thought out, but it also had its challenges which we wanted to overcome. So
Let's release this yet because it's not a 100% thing, but it's just something worth knowing. We have very clearly borrowed an idea from the Delhi Golf Club League which we run, which is the mentorship program. Each of the teams is being encouraged to pick up a mentor who are amongst the top coaches in the city, and the mentors then work with the teams over this entire duration of 2.5-3 months. Now the mentorship is quite unique. The mentor is able to help them with the physical learning of the golf swing and technicalities about it. But more importantly, They work with them on what goes into strategy, diet, scoring, systems, everything. How to structure a team, what are the pairings to play. The knowledge that goes through that program is huge. So the mentors have already been decided. We've done a small subset of mentors from across the city. We have offered them to the team owners. They are under discussions. I'm sure all the teams will pick up one mentor or the other. But that knowledge sharing that happens through that is another huge value that comes through the league. So that's what the duration benefits us with. Very dynamic people from Bombay. There's a production that's happening for an OTT platform. We'll make the announcement very soon. But there are going to be 3 capsules up there. It is also, the auction is being broadcast live today. And on the final day, there are some plans as well. We have to be careful that we pick it up and then pull it instead of just pulling it. Sarkar sir, being upon our sir, everybody, thank you. It's something so symbolic of this golf course of Delhi, and it's going to keep on getting enhanced further. Thank you. Delhi itself, yes.
Drives actually, none of you guys knew about it.
We didn't know. Shuffle it, please. Okay, no, you will draw that, that's fine.
Okay.
So Sana will read it out.
Mr. Habib.